This is like the shortest album I've done in a while. It was like 20 minutes, like only 7 songs.
Right.
And one was not the infected version.
Oh, I forgot about that album.
So I'll go through like track by track, 'cause it's not going to take very long. Project starts out on Dimitri, spelled out DMTRI.
Sure.
So play on words for the drug. Bronson isn't too bad. He does have a few cold lines sort of scattered throughout. Like I shoot 95% from the free throw, 60 from the field. Strange sex appeal. The lone gunman muffled the shoddy with an old onion. This is no fun, never low funds.
There you go.
That's pretty hard.
That's an insane stat line if you shoot 95 from the free throw, 60 from the field.
I don't think Mr. Bronson is.
I don't even know. Like, Jose Calderon's best free throw shooter in NBA history shot like 97% one season.
That is very high.
But like for his whole career, it was
What about 60 from the field? That's still very high.
like 60 from the field? You'd have to be a big man, like low volume big man, like Clint Capella.
I think he's high volume short man. I don't know how tall he is, but like he's quite high volume.
Yeah, you'd only be able to take like 7-8 shots a night and just be like right in, just dunking it. Like you're not shooting threes going 60%. I can tell you that much.
But he did have a few misses in that song as well. Me disappear where? I'm right here, creeping in the cold night's air. To get on my level, take 50 light years. Like, light years is a distance, like a measurement of like kilometers. That's like, to get to my level will take 50 meters. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and like maybe up. Like that's how high up above.
I think that's a bit of a stretch.
Like I'm on like.
Or
like,
it might
down
take you.
here.
It might take you 50 light years of working on your craft to get to where he's at. It might be, but either way you go, I think is a bit of a stretch. And I do think he's just misunderstood what a light year is. But the beat is fucking cold. I will give... The Alchemist does shine a lot through this album. It sounds like something from a game, but it really suits Bronson's like sort of voice and style that he raps in. Like, you know how he sort of... Like, it's quite raspy, but also high-pitched. Mm-hmm. I'll play that, like, just the first sort of bit of it. It does sound like a game soundtrack. So, like, I don't really know what game it would be. Like a little Flash game or something. That's very cool. It was very Italian all throughout the album as well. Like, there were a few accordions and whatnot. But yeah, and then later on... It sort of goes a little bit more like 8-bit. And it's really cool. I do like it a lot. God damn, I need another one. I'm putting away, son. Sven was up next.
Sven.
That word doesn't really work with the Australian like accent,
Sven.
does it?
Sven.
Yeah. Sven. Sven.
I think that's a cool name.
It is a cool name. That does slap. The Alchemist really killed it here, and so did Bronson. Bronson came out with Throw Some Acid on Your Cheek, Now You Aren't, Scars Over My Heart, The Part and the Sharp, European Shark, Big Engine like a dozen bagels with a stun and stable, making my rounds at all the number tables, health is wealth, but wealth by all the fancy belts, good, it's even easier to hang yourself. That is hard as shit.
That goes dummy.
That bloody does. And he actually introduced me to a supplement in this thing, this verse. I believe it was the first verse. He mentioned ginkgo biloba.
Oh.
It's meant to improve memory and attention span. So for those of you who don't personally know me, I'm half...
Right.
So, like, I'm definitely looking into this. Like, to improve attention span and memory, that's definitely something I need to improve on. So I'm going to be looking into some ginkgo biloba.
Sounds like that stuff that the guy says on Fuji 9. Bloody
What
Bob
is that?
Mortimer. Got the Fuji 9 in there.
That's a good reference. But yeah, so I'll be looking into that. So thank you for that, Mr. Bronson. But The Alchemist is still definitely the star of this track. And like every now and then Bronson will come out with something that's actually pretty funny. Like that's sort of, I'm talking more about the general album then, or EP. Every now and then, like, yeah, Bronson will come out with something that's actually pretty hard and like quite funny as well. In Tearaway Shorts, which The Alchemist kills, of course, Bronson comes out with Turn the Wheel Like a New Leaf, which is already dope. I'll Have Your Mother Naked Cooking Stew Beef. Like, I giggled when I heard that. I think I'm saying this word right. Accoutrements. Accoutrements.
Never heard of it.
It had a really nice break of someone singing. It definitely wasn't Bronson, but it wasn't listed in the features or the vocals. And there weren't enough people commenting on the Genius page to find out who it was. Descendant of the Stars is a little bit more low-key on the beat. I do think Bronson was better on this one than The Alchemist. He had a few funny lines like, I don't give a fuck, I'm just a grown-ass kid, eyes wide shut, I control that whip, I did an interview for GQ while taking a shit. I'm assuming it was like just typing his answers or something, like surely he wasn't filming himself. And then like later on in the same song, he said, I heard Barkley bought a Mazda for a stripper. Yo, what a shitty tipper. That's where we differ. I handed the B's to the Beamer to uplifter. That's pretty hard. Just the way it is was a little bit more low-key on the beat as well. A few sort of like quick piano chords throughout. Bronson was a bit weird on this one. 5 closets full of running shoes and I ain't running Duke. My girl jealous because she know that I'm in love with you.
Oh.
Like, my girl jealous because she know that I'm in love with you.
Yeah.
That's probably talking about another girl, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know what you thought he was talking about.
I thought he was like talking to me.
He was connecting.
Okay, that makes a lot more. Okay, Bronson's not being weird on that one then. Do you want another one as well?
No, mate, you're right.
Alright. Okay, that's actually a pretty hard line then. I know he does like his running shoes. He was like, he was one of the first people that actually popped off the Ultra Boost. He used to wear them. He used to wear them a lot. I know. I think Kanye was the main one. Like people saw him wearing the all white ones, right, and then everyone just went mental over him. But like Action Bronson was wearing them like before that as well, and pretty much all the time he's wearing, or he was wearing Ultra Boost. I don't know about now.
Right.
But yeah. Arnold and Danny is the closer.
Oh.
And it actually has The Alchemist rapping. I've never heard The Alchemist rap.
Neither have I.
He's decent. Like, he's okay.
He's decent.
Yeah. His voice is really good. He does need to, like, work on his lyricism a bit more. But he really amped it up on production for this one. Like, all throughout the album, it starts out really strong, but after the first couple of songs, it sort of drops down a little bit, and that's where, like, Bronson shines. But, like, still after, like, the drop down, it was, like at, like, average producer level.
Right.
Like, not Alchemist level, just average.
Right.
So it wasn't bad or anything. I feel like Action Bronson is quite artistic, and he mentions quite a lot of niche things.
Right.
Do you think it's niche or niche?
Niche.
I think so too. A lot of people say niche.
I think niche does mean something else. Something similar. I could be wrong about that, though.
Oh, it might mean something else, but I've heard people say, like, oh, that's quite niche, referring to not well known, like niche.
Right.
But, anyway, like, if you don't know what they are, you won't know what he's talking about. Like, I used to be, and sort of, I'm getting back into it now, but I used to be quite heavy into cars. And he mentions a lot of things about, like, BMWs and stuff that a lot of people that, you know, don't spend a lot of their time looking at cars wouldn't know about.
Right.
And he mentions, like, accoutrements or whatever that is. I think, I Googled it, and I think it's just things you serve main dishes with.
Right.
Like, I don't fucking know. He mentions a lot of shit like that. That, like, it would fly over the head of someone who's not into that specific, you know, thing. Yeah, right. World, I think is a good way of putting it. Well, at one point in Accoutrements, he mentions an opera singer. Like, I had no idea who it was until I Googled it. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I don't fucking listen to opera. And hearing things like that all the time, it can be quite uninteresting because, like, you don't have any relatability.
Yeah.
You don't know what he's talking about. But The Alchemist does help to break that up a lot more. Where there's like violin. I don't know if he plays it or he just samples it. And like he just has some little artistic touches in the breaks of the verses and stuff. The beats between the songs as well, they did have really good transitions. Like the beat will usually fade out and you'll hear Bronson just talking to like family members or like other people in his crew, usually about food or like being number one in Belgium. I think Belgium was the country. I could be wrong. And then like while they're talking, the song will start. Or sorry, the song will end. The next one will start, and then it's the exact same conversation. Like it's completely fluid, and then another beat will fade up.
Right.
And it sounds really cool. I'll play a little bit. This is going from Sven to Tearaway Shorts. This is the next song. Like, that's very flawless. And now the next song's up. Like, they just have little sort of like, I don't know, skits, I guess, in between. And it does really help it, like, blend together really well. And it does make, like, I know 20 minutes is short already, but it does make it go much quicker. It was a decent project overall. Not really my style of production or rapping. I'm sure it will be someone's preferred style. But taking my personal account or personal taste into account, as well as the flows, wordplay, production, and overall composition of each individual song and the project as a whole, I'm rating it a 6 out of 10. It's a good album, and if you like either artist in this project, you will like the project.